In a small town in Arkansas, a man named Sam Walton had a vision that changed the way the world shops forever. With nothing more than a dream, what started as a single store has now become a retail giant with over 11,000 stores in 27 countries and a revenue of $572 billion. The success story of Walmart is nothing short of extraordinary. From humble beginnings to global domination, this is the remarkable story of how Walmart was built. Samuel Moore Walton was raised on a farm in Oklahoma, the son of Thomas Gibson Walton and Nancy Lee. In 1940, he began a lengthy retail career as a sales trainee at a JCPenney shop in Des Moines, Iowa. Walton attended Hickman High School and then the University of Missouri before starting his first employment. Walton was enthusiastic about his life profession, but he was never one of JCPenney's most conscientious employees. He despised making people wait while he fiddled with paperwork, so his records were shambling. His manager even threatened to terminate him, claiming he was not suited for retail employment. Walton's ability as a salesman saved him, and he added around $25 per month in commissions to his beginner's pay. Walton was drafted into the United States Army in 1942 and served as a communications officer in the Army Intelligence Corps in World War II. After Walton was discharged from the military in 1945, he had a wife, Helen Walton, née Helen Robinson, and a kid to support, so he opted to go alone. At 27, Walton purchased a Ben Franklin store in Newport, Arkansas, a franchise division of Butler Brothers of Chicago, using $5,000 of his own money and $20,000 borrowed from his father-in-law. Walton quickly expanded his business via hard labor and a policy of pricing things well below what other merchants charged. By 1950, he operated a 6-state region's leading Ben Franklin store. The store's success was not lost on Walton's landlord, who chose to buy it for his son. Because Sam had no plans to sell, the landlord refused to renew his lease. Most individuals would have given up after that event. Nevertheless, Sam Walton was not one of them. He looked for a new site to do business in rural places like Little Rock, Arkansas, and found it in the tiny town of Bentonville. He set up shop in a store on the town square, insisting on a 99-year lease this time. Walton's Five and Dime opened its doors in the summer of 1950. There were 2 other variety stores in town, but neither had the same consistently low prices as Walton. As a result, the new venture swiftly replicated the success of his old venture, motivating Walton to seek out more such chances. Throughout the 1950s, Walton acquired one variety store after another, utilizing borrowed money and revenues from his stores. He was a proud owner of 15 businesses by 1960, but he wasn't seeing the profits he'd hoped for, and he felt he should be making more money for the work he put in. He decided to try a new tactic of drastically lowering prices to undercut his competition and make up the price difference in increased sales volume. The approach wasn't precisely new, but at the time, cheap businesses were small, concentrated in cities, and primarily sold specialized things. Walton planned to construct large stores in tiny communities that discounted everything they sold. First, he pitched his idea to the firm that franchised Ben Franklin stores. When Walton stated they would have to cut their regular wholesale margin in half to accommodate the cheap rates he intended to charge, the company directors loudly refused to support him. As a result, Walton opted to assume the risk himself. He opened his first Walmart with the help of his brother and co-founder, Bud Walton, mortgaging his home and borrowing to the max. Formerly known as Walmart Discount City, the store opened in 1962 in Rogers, Arkansas, near Bentonville. Walmart was not alone in its discounting venture. S.S. Kresge founded Kmart the same year, and Woolworths debuted Woolco, both of which might have easily surpassed Walmart. Yet, Walton was too far off the beaten path for these retail behemoths to notice him. Rural customers flocked to Walton's stores, thrilled that big city New York discounts had arrived in small town America, and scales skyrocketed. This early success provided funds for additional expansion. By 1969, Arkansas and Missouri had 18 Walmarts. Before then, Walton had supported expansion through profits and borrowing. But in 1970, he decided to go public. Although Walton and his family kept 61% of ownership of the stock in the initial selling, the cash allowed him to pay off the company's debts and press forward with his ambitious expansion ambitions. Walmart added 6 stores in the first year after being public, followed by 13 outlets each of the next 2 years. Then 14, then 26. At the end of 1980, Walton had 276 stores and was on track to add 100 new stores yearly. In 1983, Walton introduced the first Sam's Club, which catered to small business owners and others looking to buy in bulk. Walton had hit gold yet again. Forbes magazine named him the wealthiest man in America in 1985, with a net worth of $2.8 billion. By 1987, Walmart had surpassed Sears and Kmart to become the third largest retailer in the United States. With retail success under his belt, Walmart founder Sam Walton announced in 1988 that he would relinquish the CEO role to Walmart executive David Glass, while remaining chairman of the firm. That same year, Walmart debuted its Walmart Supercenter, a retail chain with all the trimmings of Walmart, plus a full-service grocery. Walton was diagnosed with a severe form of bone cancer 2 years later. President George Bush awarded Walton the Medal of Freedom on March 17, 1992. For his entrepreneurial energy and compassion for his employees and community, it would be his final and most significant accomplishment. Walton was admitted to the University of Arkansas Hospital a few days later and died on April 5, 1992, 6 days after his 74th birthday. He had a net worth of almost $25 billion at his death. The Sam M. Walton College of Business was named in his honor by the University of Arkansas shortly after his death. Walton didn't just transform the way Americans bought, he also revolutionized the mindset of the American retail business establishment, initiating the shift of power from manufacturer to consumer that has been common in industry after industry. Today, Walmart's overall revenue for the fiscal year was $524 billion. At 11,766 shop locations worldwide, the company employs 2.2 million people. Once a shelter for rural shopping, the company anticipates $38 billion in internet revenue in the coming year. And speaking from internet revenue, the largest e-commerce company in the world, Amazon, is falling dramatically. To see why, click here, and I will see you there in a second.